Welcome back, everyone. It's the second broadcast of Bvtw. I'm your host, Blue. We've got a lot of action, so let's get right into it. Logan Paul is in the news this week for taking a much-needed L. Turns out he spent over $3 million on a box that was supposed to be full of unopened Pokemon cards. But when he opened it, he only found a bunch of G.I. Joe cards. He responded by saying it's the worst experience he's ever had with something Japanese. Experts say it's likely the biggest fraud in the history of Pokemon. Makes sense, since Paul is also the biggest fraud in the history of boxing. Speaking of wasting money, Tom Brady has announced that he's releasing a brand new clothing line called Brady, and it ain't cheap. T-shirts are $75, hats are $65, jackets are $350, and socks came in at a reasonable price of $20. You know, if you compare that to the prices at the stadium, you're actually getting quite a deal. He says he's been working on the line for 3 whole years, and each item is unique, innovative, and has great function and purpose. So let's see these amazing pieces. Whoa! Look at that! Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. 3 years! My God, I don't think I could have ever come up with something that unique and innovative. I'm honestly blown away. Sign me up. I'll be waiting for my free Brady gear in the mail. You're welcome for the promo. Speaking of mail, crazy stories coming out of LA where trains that deliver packages are being broken into and robbed. If anyone didn't get a present from me this Christmas, that's where it ended up, I swear. It's these damn train robbers. I'll get you something next year. Anyway, videos showed thousands of open packages thrown all across the tracks, including literally everything, even some home COVID tests, and according to Donald Trump, millions of voters' ballots that would have changed the election. The election was a fraud. There's votes on the tracks, millions of votes. Look at them sitting there. People ask me where the votes are. They're sitting right there, people. I can't make this up. The votes are right there. First we had porch pirates, now we got train robberies. Soon we'll be seeing people robbing the cargo planes and programming drones to steal my order from Skip the Dishes. Keep your claws off my chicken nuggets. Another celebrity is in the news this week with comedian Tiffany Haddish getting arrested for a DUI. The cops were called after she was seen falling asleep while driving. The cops believe she had just smoked some weed, but I think it was something a little more nefarious. I think she was watching her Netflix special. Speaking of weed, a petition has been circulating around the internet to remove a judge after she threatened a 72-year-old cancer patient for not getting rid of the weeds in their driveway. He was given a ticket for failing to keep it clear of weeds or other nuisance vegetation. There must have been some kale out there too. You ever hear those people talk about kale? That's a nuisance. Alexis went on to say that their driveway was shameful and inappropriate. She said, if you don't eat those veggies, no dessert for a week. The man and his son try to defend themselves by saying he is very sick with cancer and obviously hasn't been able to deal with the weeds. She interrupted and said, if I could give you jail time, I would. There's now 3,000 signatures to get her removed. Honestly, I'm surprised. They've been trying to get weed off the streets for years, and this is how you treat a judge who wants to get it done? Pick a lane, America. Actually, it turns out that the judge wasn't really all that mad about the weeds. Gardening is just a touchy subject for her. Her husband has been trying to get her to trim down the giant bush in her garden for years. To nobody's surprise, Kanye West is in the news once again, and not even for just one thing. He's actually been in the news all week for so many reasons, he's basically got his own segment on the show today. First, he opened up the week with a clip from his new song, Easy, where he says God saved me from the crash just so I can beat Pete Davidson's ass. You know, I think that would be easy. But that's all just normal rap stuff. The second story was that he's planning on living in Russia. Apparently, he's got some business with a family that's referred to as the Trumps of Russia and could end up being worth over $10 billion. What could go wrong? Also, apparently one of the sons of this family is an aspiring musician who Kanye will likely collab with at some point. They've actually already released the name of the song. Ball so hard, Mother Russia wanna find me. Now on to the third story. Kanye was in downtown LA and apparently got into a fight with a fan, punched him twice, knocked him down, and may be charged with battery. Kanye, when somebody challenges you to a rap battle, you're not actually supposed to fight them. In response to that, he left LA to go into the desert to work on his Coachella set and his new album, Bvtw. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? After that, the drama continued as Kanye told reporters that security was blocking him from seeing the kids because Pete Davidson was in the house. I mean, honestly, that's a reason not to go in the first place. But Kim later said that Pete's never even been to her house and has also never met the kids. See, Kanye? Nothing to worry about. Pete's not stealing your family. He's just banging your wife. Kim actually stated that Kanye isn't supposed to be in the house because people have been getting upset with how he acts and he'll just show up at random times. So you're telling me that Kanye West, Yeezus himself, is upsetting people? I'm sorry, I just don't believe it. I'm with Kanye on this one, and I mean, come on. Why wouldn't you be able to go to your future ex-wife's house whenever you want? I will say, we need a new hashtag, Free Kanye. After all that, my God, you would think that would be it. But no, it was Chicago's birthday on the weekend. Kanye West kid, not the city. Also, I think they got their directions mixed up. Chicago West? Get a map, Kanye. Anyway, it was Chicago's birthday and Kanye started going off online about how he wasn't invited to the party. I get it, Kanye. I wasn't invited either. Clearly, both of our invites were lost in the mail. It was probably on that train earlier. But not only that, Kanye was driving around trying to find the party, texting everyone, trying to get that address, and they wouldn't give it to him. I think he went about this all wrong. When I don't get invited to parties, I just play it cool. When people ask me why I wasn't there, I just say, oh yeah, man, I don't know. I was gonna go, but it's just not my scene. I decided to go to a different party instead. You know, Chicago's party? Kind of sounded like a drag. Went to DJ Khaled's son's party instead. Way cooler. Had a bouncy castle and everything. In the end, it all worked out as he got the address from none other than Travis Scott, who will likely be the next one to get kicked out of the Kardashian circle. Hey Loki, what do you think about that Kanye guy?
He crazy!
More COVID stuff in the news as Nike announced they're going to fire all of their unvaccinated employees. When the employees asked why it was necessary that everyone get vaccinated, Nike said, just do it. Fascinating story out of the world of football as ESPN's Bart Scott said that Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, should take a Viagra because of the snowy conditions in the game that happened on Saturday. Apparently, it increases blood flow, which helps keep warm and also keeps the blood circulating to the feet. Also, it's the playoffs. You gotta do anything you can to get those extra couple inches in. Statistically speaking, Allen is actually one of the worst passers in the league in lower temperatures, having some of the lowest completion percentages over the last 15 years. Thanks to the pill, though, he had no issues with his completions this time, as he recorded 5 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. Way to finish hard in the pocket, Josh. Everyone else has gotta watch out. He is some stiff competition. There was an awkward moment, though, after the game in the locker room as Allen bumped into a teammate in the showers and got his 6th touchdown of the night. Good thing Diggs is so good at handling that ball. Speaking of people who need Viagra, in tragic, devastating news, this could be the saddest story we've talked about yet. A man's schlong shrunk more than an inch due to COVID. At least, that's what he's been telling all the ladies. I swear, it was a lot bigger before. COVID, you know. Used to be 6 inches, 7 really. Now it's 4. Just a mystery. Please don't leave. But anyway, apparently it's true. And not only that, but dysfunction of any kind can do the same thing because of the lack of blood flow. Plus, after COVID, there's a good chance it may never go back to the same size. My God, will this nightmare ever end? Upon hearing this news, all the world's resources have been pooled together into eliminating COVID, and it should be eradicated by next week. I heard the same thing actually happened to Subway Jared in prison. He went in with a foot long, now he's got a 6-inch. Kodak Black was in the news again, and it's for exactly what you would imagine it would be. At a hockey game down in Florida between the Panthers and my hometown heroes, the Vancouver Canucks, Kodak was recorded doing an intimate act in one of the VIP lounges. Originally, fans thought that they were actually having sex up there. They weren't really upset by it. They were actually happy. Instead of watching the Panthers and the Canucks, they got to watch the Blackhawks instead. The police commented on the situation after, saying that they're not investigating because they weren't actually having sex. They said, it was just the tip, so it doesn't count. Really, the most surprising part, actually, about the whole headline is that there were 15,000 people at a Panthers game. In fact, this will likely go down in history as the most fun anyone has ever had at a hockey game in Florida. In other Florida news, a female teacher was fired after having sex with a male student. The twist was that he only reported her because, and I quote, her head game was weak. Yeah, turns out the teacher did not pass her oral exam.
Denied.
He gave her an F. For fellatio. No? Okay. He actually gave her a D. One more. He actually gave her a B. For blowjob. We could keep going. He actually gave her an I for incomplete. 'Cause he didn't finish.
Bruh.
Okay, that's enough. He went on to say, I wasn't gonna say anything at first, but like, if you're risking it all for this moment and your top game is nothing but teeth, you don't deserve to be teaching. So I guess that's what... That's what the teacher did. He went on to say, I wasn't gonna say anything at first, but like, if you're risking it all for this moment and your top game is nothing but teeth, you don't deserve to be teaching. So I guess that's what they're teaching down in Florida for sex ed. Now that's a curriculum I can get behind. Well, more seated in front of and receive, I guess. The teachers really take it on the chin with that one. One teacher said, it sucks. But I'm assuming they're not all as bad as this teacher. She really blew it. I should stop for now. I will say, though, the principal is really enjoying his interviews with her replacement. Hockey fans weren't the only ones who caught an eyeful at a sporting event last week. A fight broke out at a Supercross event after a woman flashed her wiggly jiggly bits to the crowd. That was when a woman, who was likely named Karen, took an issue with the display. After yelling at the woman to stop, Karen was met with a bunch of drinks being thrown at her. This made her even more upset as she had unknowingly just entered a wet t-shirt contest. Man, so now men can give it all they've got at a hockey game, but women can't flash people at sporting events anymore? What a time we live in. That's 2022, folks. We're in a crisis. Hashtag free the nipple. For our final story of the night, we've got another wild story in the world of celebrity news, as my fellow Canadian Drake is in the news once again. And trust me, it's a spicy one. Turns out a woman is trying to sue Drake because he put hot sauce in his condom. Now, when I first read that, I thought, whoa, he really likes to feel the burn. But then I read he actually puts it in the condom after they're done. Less fun, but okay, Drake. He does it so that the sperm is killed by the hot sauce. No unwanted babies. Genius. And it came in handy this time as the woman came back in and tried to empty the contents in order to try and get pregnant. Then I'm assuming she quite immediately realized her mistake and what Drake had done. Hey, I know the feeling though. Who hasn't put a little too much hot sauce in their taco? My question though is, what does she think Drake's sperm is like? Oh, side effect of fire rap lyrics. His cum is red, orange, and smells like a Mexican restaurant. Interesting twist to the story in the end. Turns out he actually didn't even use any hot sauce. He had just been eating the new wings from Taco Bell. I tried this out myself earlier after I read the headline. Went to the doctor after, of course. I said, "Doc, it burns when I pee." She said, "Oh no, I think it could be chlamydia." I said, "Honestly, I think it's Cholula." This joke has been sponsored by Frank's Red Hot. Drake puts that shit on everything. That brings us to the end of the news this week. Just like before, if you have any news stories that you want me to cover next week, shoot me a message or leave a comment below. And since this whole show makes fun of everyone, I encourage everyone else to do the same. Leave your jokes in the comments below. Put your jokes down there about what I've talked about today, or even take your aim and turn it towards me. If I like what you've done, you might see your post on Twitter, Insta, or maybe even a video in the future. But that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. See you next week. And remember, stay true to you, stay blue.